Sharon Davies, an unscheduled live, and you are right on time. Wow, I am impressed. Hello, Sharon. So yeah, I'm moving. I definitely think, hey, ballerina. Hey, Cheyenne, how you doing? Hey, Chord. I'm definitely moving. Hey, Thomas. I think I'm gonna definitely move the coffee clatch to 5 Eastern time on Saturdays. For me, Sunday, you're right, Cheyenne. It is now Sunday morning. It's just past midnight here. Hey, Tom. Hey, Tisno. 67 Pagan. This just in. Vladimir Putin is still above ground, as far as we know. Hey, Huge Rob Energy. Thanks for sharing the live. Hey, Renee Herman. I should work on that 67 Pagan. Remember the old Saturday Night Live bit? This just in, Generalissimo Francisco Franco is still dead. There should be something we could do with Putin because we don't know if he's like Schrodinger's dictator. We don't really know if he's alive or dead. I'm going to start calling him Schrodinger's dictator because we don't really know if he's among the living or not. If it's just the body doubles running around. Hey, Bertie. That is definitely, yeah, that's a good idea. I like that 67 Pagan. Schrodinger's dictator. We don't know if he's alive or dead until the wave function collapses. And then we'll know. Not a lot of fans of Schrodinger's cat here. Are we not fans? Do we not know Schrodinger's cat? So Heisenberg was driving down the road. He was speeding. He was going crazy fast. Cop pulls him over. He says, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And Heisenberg says, "No, but I know exactly where I was." The cop looks at him. "What?" "Well, you were going 88 miles an hour." "Great," says Schrodinger. "Now I'm lost." Okay. The cop is suspicious of this behavior. And so he says, "Open your trunk. I want to see what's in the trunk." He opens the trunk. He comes back. He's a little bit shaken. And he says, "Do you know you have a dead cat in a box back there?" And Schrodinger's like, "You're just ruining my day. Now I know." Okay, these are physics jokes about the uncertainty principle. Anybody finding these amusing? I've just lost 100 live viewers, so apparently not. Hi, Heidi. How you doing? Hey, Corn Biscuit. Thanks, B. Thanks, Sharon. Okay, stay away from the physics jokes, huh? Stay away. If Jake Kolkowski was here, he'd be laughing. Hey, Joey Phelps. Hey, Eli. Hey, Nicola. How's everybody doing? Hello to all the peeps. Hey, Jay. How you doing? Oh, hey, Jay. We're short a moderator today. Cheyenne, I'm going to make Jay a moderator here. And there you go. So Cheyenne, welcome Jay to the moderator team, if you would, please. And give him a hand if he needs anything. Hey, Yergay. I know, I'm sorry, I don't pronounce your name right. I've never been to Romania. I'd like to go. What is the good news for Ukraine today? Well, William, I apologize. My Saturdays are very packed, slam packed, pal. And on Saturday nights, I arrived to this thing pretty uninformed. And I have to say, I don't really know. I've got word that maybe 2 Su-34s were shot down today. This is more of an ask me anything kind of an evening. Thanks, William. So I did get word that maybe 2 Su. He said that he's seen that. Sharon, somebody else said 3 planes. I thought I saw, 2 Su-34s were reported by the Kyiv Post today. Now, could there be a third one in the meantime since that reporting happened? It's not impossible. I just don't have any confirmation of it. Hey, gerbils. It appears that it's definitely 2. It does seem that way. And it could be 3. I do know about some bad news, William. The attacks on Odessa last night were deadly, and at least 5 people were unalived, including a mother and her 3-month-old baby. And the images that are circulating on social media of the recovery of the child are horrifying beyond words. Joey Contino says 2 confirmed, a third unconfirmed. Yeah, no, it's dreadful. It's dreadful. It's the real deal over here, man. And to see Putin yesterday threatening to do it to the rest of the world if we don't stay out of his business is sickening. Sickening beyond words. It should stiffen everyone's resolve, not intimidate us. Because we cannot live in a world where nuclear-powered dictators can intimidate us like this. It's obscene. And I'll tell you something. Anybody who says they're not bluffing is fucking bluffing. Every red line we've crossed, and he hasn't done shit because he can't. There's nothing he can do. He launches nukes. It's the end of Russian civilization. It's not just the end of him. It's the end of Russia. The rest of the world will survive. He won't. His people won't. St. Petersburg will be a reflecting dish. The more they threaten, the less likely it is. Planes are dropping like flies. It's amazing. Now, they had, if I am not mistaken, they had 149 total Su-34s, 149 total Su-34s in stock at the beginning of the war. Now, given the way that Russia works, you can figure maybe half of them are flight worthy at any given time. So let's call it 75, right? Now, before this last 2 weeks, 24 of them had been shot down. That leaves 51 working airworthy Su-35s. Now, this week puts another 12 in the ground. That leaves us with 39 working Su-34s. The Air Force must be shitting themselves. They have to be shitting themselves. They've lost in the last week alone, 12 out of 50 working. That's over 20% of the fleet. 20% of your fleet is now scrap metal that the Ukrainians are turning into fucking Christmas ornaments. And that's not even a joke. If you go to zampotech.com, if you go to zampotech.com, you can buy parts that they need, right? Especially if you're in the United States. You can buy parts for Hummers, and then they'll be shipped to Ukraine. And in return, the Ukrainians will send you a little punched out Su-34 kind of Christmas ornament that is actually punched out from the wing of a downed Su-34. And Bertie, that's the other thing. They can't all be in Ukraine, right? They can't all be at angles doing bombing runs on the front line. But at this point, you would think they'd have to be because there's so few of them left. So maybe there's a handful in the rest of the country, but I would think the great bulk of it is moved here now. Huge Rob Energy is doing it now. You're the best, pal. Zampotech thanks you. Those guys do good work. Those guys do very good work. They've taken literally hundreds of tons of tires out to the front line to keep the machines of war working. And they have a mobile tire changing station that they go up and down the front line with. They're really something. William, to the best of our knowledge publicly, hey, Simon, to the best of our knowledge publicly, there are no F-16s flying in Ukraine. Now, is it possible that they are? It's possible, except we live in the age where everybody has a cell phone. If anybody, any regular person on the street sees F-16s flying, they're going to take video of it. You would think we would know. And there hasn't been a single leak of civilian shots of F-16s flying anywhere in Ukraine. So is it possible? It's not impossible, but there is no evidence to indicate that's true. Nicola, right now, I mean, you may have heard that Ukrainians are taking back land. There was a small village, like a crossroads kind of place near Avdiivka, where the Ukrainians had counterattacked, as I understand it, and they had pushed the Russians back past their previously held positions. But this is not strategic. It's not substantial in any way. And it is important to recognize that right now, the Russians are getting ready for this huge offensive. They are massing troops and machines all along the Kupiansk to Svatove border in the north. And it appears, and they have begun pushing in four mutually supporting axes into that area. Now, look, that area is not like Avdiivka. It's not 16 square kilometers. It's 2,000 square kilometers that they're trying to push through to get themselves to the Oskil River. And it looks like they've amassed about twice as many troops as were in Avdiivka, so about 80,000 troops, with about 20,000 troops in each of those four supporting axes, and then an additional 5,000 in reserves for each of the supporting axes. So you're talking about 100,000 troops in Luhansk that are ready to push forward into Kyiv. The next 3 months are going to be very difficult for the Ukrainians. Make no mistake. There's going to be a lot more land losses, and there's going to be a lot more planes shot down if they keep running as many sorties as they are. Hey, Tom, thanks for the subscription. I really appreciate that. Planes are too quick to be photographed. Maybe that's the problem. Simon, I couldn't agree with you more. I hope I am wrong too, and the Russian people do a revolution on the Kremlin. Yesterday gave people hope. You know, everybody was out at Navalny's funeral. But there were no protests today. Everybody stayed home today. There's no people in the street. There's no momentum. I don't believe that we can count on the Russians for that. I think we have to solve this problem in spite of them. There is a bipartisan push to fund aid in the House. Yeah, I forget. I did see very briefly, somebody sent it to me today. Somebody sent it to me today that there is a congressperson that is leading an effort to circumvent Mike Johnson. Now, it could be that there are enough Republicans that still live in the world we actually live in, that still live in reality, that they could get around him. Did you see what's up in Ingushetia? I don't even know where Ingushetia is. Is that Georgia, Gerbils? Where's Ingushetia? Moscow Mike needs to go. Fucking hell he does. How did he get in there in the first place? A lying liar. Little north of Georgia. So it's one of the two Georgian provinces that the Russians took from Georgia in 2008. Right? It's Ingushetia and Ossetia. Something like that. So no, I have not seen what's going on there. What is going on there? Significant fighting in the streets, it seems. Well, if I'm right, because I'm just doing this off the top of my head, and I don't know any of that to be true. But if I'm right, if that's one of the Georgian provinces, there's been a lot of pushback in Georgia about. Thank you, George. Okay, so Sammy is correcting me. I'm wrong. It's not Georgia. Abkhazia and Ossetia are the two. So where's Ingushetia, Sammy? Do you know? Hey, Dave. Yeah, Simon, that's not impossible either. I mean, we could see a popular uprising that Putin crushes, or that the Kremlin crushes, and then their candidate gets elected anyway. I didn't see anything today. I'm so sorry, guys. Saturdays are very hard for me. I'm out the door at 11 a.m. and I got back here about 8, and then I had to take a nap, and I just woke up, and I didn't have a chance to do anything. Hey, Geezer. What time zone are you in, Geezer? So M is saying that there are street fights in somewhere in Russia. I assume that's Russians versus the police. You're in the UK, so it's just 10 p.m. for you there. They say a counter-terrorism action. Counter-terrorism. You mean counter-freedom. Russia's got to be bursting at the seams. They've got to be. There's just no two ways around it. It's 50K shovel guys, Kim Sam. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Untrained, unmotivated, under-equipped. That's why the numbers look like they do. People are shooting on the streets. Interesting. Hey, how you doing? Hey, hi there, ho there. No, it is not true that one SU plane was down today. It is true that 2 were downed. So yeah, man, 2 more were downed. Maybe a third. There's rumors of a third, but we don't know for sure. Hey, feisty. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Hello from Norway. Peter's filling in for Lars, representing Norway. Oh, wait, this is Feisty SB. Who's Feisty SB? I don't know who Feisty SB is. Is that our Feisty Cheyenne or somebody else? Hello from Sweden. Welcome to NATO, Sweden. Hello from Coventry in England. Thank you, Coventry. Joining from New Jersey, Dark Irish. Oh, Dark Irish, I got your note. Thank you. Yes, I appreciated all your points. And I am familiar with them. Thank you. I didn't really I didn't have much of a response, honestly, but I did see your note. Thank you. It was very thoughtful. Somebody is 4 kilometers from the Russian border. Johnny. You in Finland, Johnny. Kent is here, also from Norway. Norway's doing a hell of a job, boy. You guys are great. Maybe we'll see the Su-57 fly alone without escort planes because there are none left. What are they using to get the planes down? I wish we knew, Super Hornet. I wish we knew. Yeah, we're all grateful for that, Feisty. I wish we knew what they are shooting. North of Ossetia, west of Chechnya, and that's where the fighting is, Sammy. Is that what you're saying? Now, guys, I can't validate anything that Sammy is saying, but according to some people here, it is possible that there is some fighting happening in the streets of Russia tonight. Now, as far as what the Ukrainians are using to shoot all these fucking planes down, we do not know. We literally do not know. And the theories, hang on, it's getting warm in here. I'm going to open the window. So we don't know what the Ukrainians are using to shoot down all these planes. There are a number of theories. One of the theories is that it's a Patriot battery. And then people say, well, wait a minute. The Patriot doesn't have the range to have taken out the the A-50 or the IL-22 a few weeks back. So what if somebody had given them PAC-2 missiles with extra range, with ER, with extra range? Okay, then suddenly they are in range of the Patriots. So maybe it's just a Patriot battery with extra missiles with extra range. Could be. David Axe, writing in Forbes magazine, who's a weapons expert who writes about planes, trains, tanks, that kind of thing. He says he thinks that it could be a modified S-200 missile system that has been modified to use the Patriot targeting array. And so it's a kind of Frankenstein of old Soviet technology and new Western technology, which would mean that Zelensky's comments about having a secret weapon that nobody knows about and that can shoot these planes down, and his constant praise of the Patriot system could match reality. And David Axe, if you look up David Axe on Forbes, he's got a great article on this for anybody that's interested in the technical details and why that solution could well be what's at play here. And I did a video on it too, in my own amateurish way. So those are possibilities. There's also the possibility that it's just an old S-200 missile system that they've increased the firing accuracy of with new GPS and targeting components. That's also a possibility that's been raised. We do not know. And operational security is keeping it from us, as well it should. Is it time for the bridge? Well, I'll tell you, I'll tell you, Henry, Budanov recently said that he recommends that Russian civilians stay off the bridge. Now, Budanov is a person who plays psychological games. It is my considered opinion that the Ukrainians did to that bridge exactly what they wanted. That they wanted it damaged. They wanted it to have to be closed every time there was an air alert. They wanted it down to one lane so that people could escape from Crimea. They want as many people out of Crimea as possible to make their job easier in Crimea. And leaving one lane open on the bridge means that there is an easy escape path that doesn't go all through the occupied territories. And if I am not mistaken, the best estimates from the Ukrainians are that about 1 million of the 2 million colonists, these Russians who came in after the annexation of Crimea and were sold homes of Ukrainians that were stolen from them, half of them have left. So there's 1 million people gone from Crimea. And I think the population is down to about 1 million, something like that is the estimate. But I'm not sure. That's just all going from memory. It'll be a major cut for supplies, but the thing is, I think you want as many people to get out first as possible, which means you don't want to actually cut the bridge until the land bridge is cut first. You want to cut off the land corridor to Crimea. Then you hit the bridge, right? Just the process of rolling across Kherson should encourage people to fucking leave, knowing that that's coming. And then you hit the bridge once the land corridor is locked down, and now Crimea is completely isolated. The only way to get food and fuel and supplies in there is on landing ships. And of the 13 landing ships that Russia started the war with, only 5 are still floating. I think that that's not a coincidence, right? I definitely think that's not a coincidence. You're not wrong, Dark Irish. They should all leave, right? But you know what it's like. People are stubborn and they think they're right. They think Crimea is Russian. They think it's theirs. They think all of the murder that's been done so that they can have a cheap vacation house in Crimea was done for a good and legitimate reason. In 6 months, the Russian military will be reaching for the T-34s. You're not kidding, Kim San. You are not kidding. There was actually just a T-54, vintage 1946, destroyed. I forget if it was in the Robotynya or Avdiivka axis. But it was a T-54, not a T-55. 10 years older than the T-55. 1946 vintage. Ridiculous. Hey, Julian. How you doing? Hey, Cobra. Hello, Norway. The OTAN bot is here. For the Americans, OTAN is it's the French for NATO. I know it's NATO backwards, but it's also the French for NATO. Hey, Jackie Privet. What's going on with the Republican Russians in the U.S. House? They're drinking vodka. Oh, they were just role-playing World War II with the T-54. Yeah, that's right. They were role-playing. Fucking Lukashenko and Putin, thank you. Lukashenko and Putin role cosplay as being dictators. These bastards. Hey, do you guys notice? Hey, Cheyenne, do you notice a whole lot of no trolls tonight? Because it's fucking Saturday and nobody's working. Shit, I should have done this ages ago. Holy shit. That is amazing. I just realized it. Hey, Mad Mike, how you doing, pal? Eli, isn't it something? It's not working hours. It's Saturday. Everybody's off. Now, guys, that tells you something right there. That really should tell everybody something about the nature of our enemy. It's a real thing. These aren't real people that are arguing with you in the comments. They are paid propagandists of an authoritarian, murderous, rapacious, megalomaniac, schizophrenic, Schrodinger's dictator. There you go, Jillian. That's why. I don't know, Bertie. It seems to me that Julian, back when Ukraine gave up their nukes, to the best of my knowledge, it was the USSR, and the nuclear core of the USSR was drawn from all over the USSR. There were Kazakh operators, there were Ukrainian operators. They were all loyal up the chain to the Kremlin. Was the idea? Oh, you mod for Avarosis, Big Hawk. Cool. Well, there's at least one here. We don't have to listen to that anymore. Maybe Putin has conscripted the trolls for the front. No, I think what's happening is that they're running out of money. And they can't afford to pay the Petersburg trolls. I've noticed that all my trolls are in Nigeria now. Loki, we have no good news for ammo and material resupply from the U.S., I am afraid. We have no good news on that at all. Hey, Herb. Thanks for liking the live, Mad Mike. Mad Mike. No overtime. Right, there's no money for overtime on the weekends. That's what I'm thinking. Hey, Shrimp Man. How you doing? Yes, Ukraine is losing ground. There's no two ways about that. Now, look, it's hardly significant. I mean, it's hardly strategic. And what it is costing them is going to create a social pressure inside Russia that I believe will tear the Federation apart. We have unconfirmed reports now of fighting in Gushetia, inside of Russia, some kind of a police action there maybe or something. But you look at the social pressure that this creates on Russia, and I don't believe that Russia will survive it. I think it's just like 1989 all over again. Nobody believed that the USSR was going to fall. And overnight, there was no more USSR. I think the same thing is going to happen with the Russian Federation, and it's going to be chaos this time. Well, Eli, MAGA GOP won't bring the bill to a vote, but I forget his name. One of the Democrats and one of the Republicans are working together to bypass Johnson and force a vote on the floor. So there's a procedural move. I think it requires a supermajority. I think you need 66% of the House, not just a simple 50-50 vote. So that means that they need, how many is that? 66% of 435? Can somebody do the math on that? 66% of 435? How many votes is that? So a 2/3 majority vote to bypass the speaker, bring it to the floor. They have to get 330 to override Moscow Mike to bring it up. 330. So that means that they need something like 110 Republicans to cross the aisle. Eggs in Russia are running at about 100 rubles for 10. They don't sell them by the dozen, Nicola. They sell them 10 in a pack. So about 10 rubles an egg, or about 100 rubles for 10. Shrimp Man got 288. That's a big difference, Shrimp Man. Hang on. I got a calculator here. Let's see. 435 in the House times 0.66. Yeah, 287 point. I get 287.1. So 287 minus 212 Republican, or Democrats rather. That's 75. They only need 75 Republicans to vote in favor of it. And I'll bet you there's that many planning on voting for the bill. That bill will pass if they can get around Moscow Mike. There's no doubt about it. So keep your fingers crossed that all those people in purple districts, every one of those Republicans that's in a ruby red district can hold this thing up and know that they're going to get reelected. Every one of those Republicans in a purple district can't. They can't afford to. It'll cost them their next election. Cheyenne's right. Call your reps. Send your letters. Call your reps. Send your letters. If you're an American, please, for the love of God, get on the horn. And you can contact V. Larrett. Thanks, Jay. What state are you in, Jay? You can contact V. Larrett for our Google Doc share, where we've got the templates for your congresspeople. Jay's in Illinois. Hey, I should mention, the Live at 5 on Saturdays is brought to you by the Patreon folks. And I was really very grateful. There are 3 new Patreon supporters. Eddie Pina, Sarah, and one other person. Let me take a look here so we can thank them properly. But I had 3 people join the Patreon yesterday, and I was so grateful because my Patreon subscriptions have really fallen off. And it really makes all the difference in the world. Sarah, David, and Guoni. Oh, right. Eddie Pina subscribed, and so did Viking. Subscribed on TikTok. Also very grateful for TikTok subscriptions. So, and Sharon, yes, I saw that. That's a huge, thank you. That's huge. Any TikTok subscribers out there that are kicking in $5 a month, if you can move to $10 a month, that would be great. Hey, Allie. being the Speaker of the House, he gets to bring up all the bills or just hold them. Yep, he gets to set the agenda, Big Hawk. That is the problem with this guy. So to all the TikTok subscribers and to all of the Patreon subscribers, guys, literally, we couldn't do this without you. And I say we because it is very much a team effort. Vanetta handles the letters and publicity. Lars does the technical stuff and the Discord server on the back. Nightshade handles the Facebook group. And then, of course, there's this incredible moderator team that just is here all the time. PT, John Williams, Vanetta, Cheyenne, Travis, and now Jay, too. So really appreciate you guys. Hey, Maddie Wright. Russia have heard a secret conversation in Germany how they should destroy the bridge with German missiles. Well, the Germans aren't giving them those missiles, so they don't have to worry about that, do they? Really disappointing. Schultz and the Taurus. Mad Mike, it's insanity, this thing with Moscow Mike. It's just how he got there. What kind of a coup that was for the maggots. It's unreal. I don't know if the Republicans just didn't know who he was, but he's one of the core insurrectionists that architected the whole scheme to undermine American democracy. And now here he is deciding what we will and will not consider to vote on as law in the United States. Are you kidding me? It's obscene. And it goes to show you just how deep the problems in the United States run. Sawyer Tom, he cannot win. Trump cannot win. Right now, he's barely getting half of the Republican vote. 40 to 45% of Republicans are voting against him. You can't win when half your party, Biden's sweeping the primaries, right? He's getting 85, 90, 92, 96% of the votes. He's the incumbent. That's what you expect. Trump is barely pulling 50%. 50, 55, 59. He did a little better in Michigan. I think it was 60%. But that means that 40% of Michiganders voted against him. Michigan Republicans voted against him. Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen's just another lying liar who was happy to make money off of Trump as long as he could, until Trump threw him under the bus. It's only then that these people get a conscience. And yeah, he did his 3 years in jail, right? He did his jail time. Okay. We should forgive him, but that doesn't mean that we have to make him a celebrity. So Big Hawk makes a great point. He says those that vote against him have told exit polls they won't vote for him in an election. With as high a percentage, Big Hawk, as among Michigander voters, it was 49%. Said that voted for Haley said they would not vote for him. If I'm not mistaken, in North Carolina, it was about the same. I want to say 47%, or South Carolina rather, of Nikki Haley voters said that they wouldn't vote for Trump in the election. In New Hampshire, it was higher. It was 65% of Haley voters said they would not vote for Trump in an election. These are your base. These are Republicans. If they're not voting for him, nobody's going to vote for him. Certainly Democrats and independents are not voting for Trump ever again. That's not happening. Yeah, Maddie, I understand, Maddie, he paid his dues, but we don't have to make him a celebrity. He's not a hero. He's a scumbag. He's a piece of shit scumbag who enabled Donald Trump. Make no mistake. If it weren't for if Michael Cohen had been honest about this thing at the beginning, maybe we wouldn't have suffered for 4 years under this fascist piece of shit. So Michael Cohen is no hero. Please. He's trying to make a difference. He's trying to save himself. These people don't know anything but how to save themselves. They are not self-sacrificing in any way. Yeah, you're not wrong about that, Tom. Trump would destroy the United States to line his own pockets and bring himself power. If he could see his enemies lined up against a wall and shot the way that Kim Jong-un does, he'd be in heaven. Right, Shrimp Man. It's always a different song after they're caught. And I get it. He paid his dues to society. Fine. Right? I appreciate that. He's finally come clean. But look at what it took for him to do that. Oh, get out of here. Is he really? Ugh. Orban at Mar-a-Lago? Ugh. Hey, F and Hell, thanks for renewing your TikTok subscription. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I'm really struggling here. You know, if anybody looks at the Patreon, you can see. I mean, I'm living on about $680 a month. And it's, even though this is a very reasonable country to live in, that is very difficult. God, you would think I would lose some weight. But I do eat very well, mostly thanks to Cynthia Beatricella. Thank God. And Ballerina, well, Ballerina helps out a lot too, that's for sure. Yeah, Monzi, you're not wrong, but please don't call for people's execution on my page. I mean, I'm deeply sympathetic to it. Don't get me wrong. Deeply, deeply sympathetic to that perspective. Hey, Dark Irish, thanks for subscribing. I sure appreciate it. I really do think, you know what the TikTok subscriptions do? Because I wouldn't promote them. I would really love to see everybody on my Patreon. Because on TikTok, they take half of the subscription for themselves, right? Except the only thing is, since I've gotten subscribers, I've noticed that all of my appeals get resolved very quickly. They tend to go my way. I think I only had one appeal rejected since I got subscribers. And even when I get banned from the live, I can usually go live like 5 minutes later. So I really appreciate everybody that subscribes. Allie subscribed too. Thank you, Allie. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. It really does make a difference in my life. Hey, Noah Landis. Dark Irish, you know what I'm jealous of? Because I'm not usually jealous of anybody. I have a great life. And I'm not usually jealous of anybody. But I know you're in Jersey, you said, right? You can get a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, and I can't. On an everything bagel, what I would not give for a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel. So, guys, it's just about 10 to the top of the hour. Almost every morning. Love it, dude. Love it. Hey, Sarah. So it's just about 10 to the top of the hour. So final thoughts, questions. Taylor ham is not kosher. There is no kosher ham. Jillian, I missed your U.S. political question, I guess. I'll leave it to Shrimp Man to clarify. Looks like you guys are having a sidebar about American politics. Good night, Birdie. Thanks for dropping by, pal. Thanks for subscribing, F and Hell. I make sallow kosher right before I eat it. By how do you do that, Sergey? No, Nicola, I don't have the money to eat out right now, so I'm not. I haven't been looking for a pizza place, but I appreciate the thought, and I assure you that I have a couple of recommendations: Napoli, Veteranos, a couple others that people say are good that I will eventually try. Good night, Jay. Final thoughts? Any final thoughts from anybody? Questions, comments, points of observation, or personal need? Night, Eli. All right, well, I'm going to call it a night then. It's almost 1 a.m. here. Guys, I really appreciate everybody that subscribed, everybody that joined the Patreon. I really appreciate that you are all out there for me, keep helping to keep me here on the ground for you. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Make it a great day.